I'm going to show you how to log in to the university wiki system. You'll want to go through my UWG, which is at myuwg.wesco.edu. Log in over on the right-hand side. Click External Resources. Then click Wiki Spaces. Yay, it worked. There's my username. That tells me that I'm logged in right now. Earlier when I did this, there was a little, I don't know, flaw that happened where it still said guest. And if it says guest, then you're not logged in. So you want to make sure that you've gotten logged in. The problem had to do with the fact that I was in Mozilla Firefox. I had another Mozilla Firefox browser open and it was logged in, and I think it was confusing it that I was trying to log in again. I'm not sure. But sometimes that problem happens for no apparent reason and you have to actually use a different web browser. And it's usually a temporary problem, but if it's a persistent problem for you, you of course need to call the DDEC or the UWG online, and they're actually on this page. They should be. Their contact, yeah, at the very bottom. You can contact Distance at Wesco or give them a call if you're not able to log in, if you don't see your username up there. All right, so that was the first part of this activity. Just logging into the system by doing that, you've sort of told the system that you're going to be using wikis at the university. Many students can attend the University of West Georgia, but if they don't take that step, then they're not initiated in the system. Doing that step somehow adds you to some database or something. It's important because now it means that other people can invite you to their wiki using your username, whereas before they couldn't do that. Anyway, so you're logged in. So that was step one. The other thing I wanted you to try, just so you can kind of, play a little bit, is I want you to make a new wiki, and you can see I'm hovering over this little thing right here. Make a new wiki. And the way it works is you can pick a name for your wiki, and this is the actual web address will be something.wiki.wesco.edu. What that something is here is up to you. So let me think of something. I have an orange marker sitting on my desk as I talk to you guys, so I'm going to call my wiki orangemarker.wiki.wesco.edu. Now that's a dumb name, and I'm going to delete it later. So, and I always give ridiculous names to wikis that I will delete later. And you can make as many of these things as you want. It's okay. I mean, the downside to that is that you'll clutter up your dashboard. Now, wikis, you can have several permissions levels. You can have a public wiki that anybody, even people outside of the University of West Georgia, they can see it and they can edit it. And that might be something you want to have. You can have protected, which means everyone can view it, but only wiki members can edit the wiki. And you, as the person that's creating it, get to decide who those members are. And you even have the power, even if you have members on your wiki, you have the power to lock them out of individual pages in the wiki. For example, I have a wiki that I use for all of my doctoral program work, and it has a to-do list on it. It has some things on it that are private that I don't want anybody to see, and I certainly don't want anybody to edit. And then there are other things that are public, like, I don't know, I don't mind if people see discussion posts that I make. So I actually usually write most of my discussion posts on my wiki, and then I repost it into Coursed-In. I know that's kind of redundant, but I do that to save my work. I use that wiki to save my work, and I can show you that in a minute. So protected is useful. That's the way my wiki is designated. And then private is only members can view it. And so maybe only you can see your wiki, or maybe some other select people can. I'll go ahead and make this one protected and hit create. And that's going to open it up. When you first, well, in the good old days when you opened your wiki, a help thing would come up. But here's a help tool that can help you with working in the wiki. And just to edit the page, you click the edit button and you go to town. And then you can type and save and do all kinds of things. Now that officially kind of takes you to where I wanted you to go. I wanted you to make a wiki. And you haven't, for some of you already know everything, that you probably need to know about wikis, but some of you have never really done this before. If you're curious and you want to know a little bit more, I'm going to talk for just a few more minutes about the wiki dashboard, which is where you kind of control all of your wikis and manage them. And then I'm going to go ahead and show you the wiki that I've made and used for the past year in the doc program. And now I'm probably, we all have our own way of working, and for some reason, this way suits me in the way that I think. Um, it's not it's not everybody's cup of tea, though, I can assure you. There are people in my cohort that can't stand these things, and that's fine. People just have their own unique ways of functioning, but I want to show it to you because I think it's awesome, and I know a few of you will think that too, and you'll like the tool. So I'm going to go to my dashboard. I do that by clicking on my name here, Kay Hewitt. All right, and this shows me pretty much all my wikis that I'm a member of. And you see all these things? These are all different wikis. Let's see. Like here's one that I use in my class that I teach at the university. So my students can actually come to this wiki if they want, outside of CourseDen. All these pages thread into my CourseDen section, so they access it through CourseDen, but they can actually come outside of it as well. And for example, they make a podcast. So here's the instructions, here's the how-to videos, etc. So that's how I use it in that class, and I also use it. I have my students work together in the wiki in my class on projects sometimes. I used a wiki to hold data. I I was going to the INACOL conference and I had to present something, and I made this humorous banner to put in the top. I was scared of going to INACOL. Anyway, so I put my data into this wiki and was writing out research questions, trying to get organized, and I see them as a great tool for holding data. You would want to make it private if you do that, of course. I'm going to click See All the Wikis You Belong To. And so you can see I've got a lot here. And so there are some disadvantages to making too many wikis. A lot of these are my students at UWG. They add me to their wikis. Okay. And so this is also the place where you could delete one. Like if I made this Wikis Be Fun, I can go to Actions. Well, actually, no. To delete a wiki, you go into the wiki. You go to Manage Wiki. You find the Manage Wiki button, and you click Delete Wiki. Okay. That's how you do that. Because you might be wondering, okay, so you made me make this wiki, and now I need to know how to delete it. So I just showed you that. And one last thing, I'll go ahead and just show you my wiki. On my home page of my wiki, and I don't use this stuff nearly enough over here, but I've linked to a bunch of education newspapers, like the education page of major newspapers around the world. And sometimes when I'm browsing on the internet on my iPad or something, I'll come to my wiki homepage and I'll jump out and surf the web from here. I also have my favorite databases, also linked directly here. I'm sure the librarians wouldn't appreciate that because they probably want me to go through their portal, but for me, it skips a lot of clicks for me to just put the exact link to things. And then I have a bunch of just disorganized stuff, as you can see. But I use the wiki like every semester. I create a monster classwork schedule of everything that's due. I kind of type out the calendar, and then everything that I do has a post. For example, in February we had to do a module 3 and 4 posting about our subjectivities. This was for qualitative research. So I actually post that here, and I did that here. And it was a multi-step post. So I did it all here on this wiki because I don't want to lose it, Once that semester's over, it's locked in CourseDen. That professor can shut you out of CourseDen, and unless you saved it on a Word doc, which probably a lot of people do that, so you've got folders full of files. That's great, but for me, it makes more sense for me to be able to access it in this way. I don't know. I'm just a hyperlinker, I guess. But so that's how I use it. I use it for all kinds of things. I use it for my job as an instructor at the university. If I'm going to a conference, I use it to plan all the stuff around that. I'm trying to use it as I approach the dissertation, but that's all very disorganized. I certainly don't know what I'm doing for my dissertation. I'm not clear on that. But we had to write a prospectus, like a 10-page paper. that was due a couple weeks ago, and that this was about what we think we want to do our dissertation on, some just initial literature and just kind of initial rationale for study. It was a challenging assignment, and I put that on my wiki. I want to keep all my stuff together. All right, enough said. Wikis are cool. I hope you agree with me, and I'm going to post a link to my 21-step tutorial on how to use wikis below this video inside of this course if you're curious and you want to learn a little bit more about them. All right, thank you.